Rumors are swirling that Xbox is about to get out of the hardware business. These rumors come at a time when Sam's Club is drastically reducing the price of all of their Xbox stock. You can get a really good deal on an Xbox right now if you want to get one at Sam's Club. But let's talk about what we've learned about this story and what was said about the story right now. First things first, let's talk about where this rumor originated. Now, we have the story here from Insider Gaming. Here's the long and the short of it. Rumor, the future of Xbox software publishing as next console generation faces doubts. So people are thinking that Xbox is getting out of the hardware business. So where is all of this coming from? Well, it's our old friend Sneakers SO. He has leaked several stories about Xbox, and here is what he says. Without going into too much detail, not long after the last round of layoffs, next one should be coming in Q1 26, by the way, just for the record, that is at the end of October, and is going to be just as massive as the last one. Some rumblings out of Xbox started coming out that were a little bit hard to believe. The ramifications of the COD Game Pass gambit not working out were just starting to get properly measured. But the thing that really stuck out to me was that suddenly really concrete plans for actual Microsoft Xbox hardware went from being definitive to up in the air, which was really startling given that this thing was meant to be out relatively soon. It was one of those situations where despite folks being told, hey, we want to pull the trigger on this in 2026, the steps you would need to take in the lead up to delivering a new console gen weren't being met. Lots of things that were sure things started getting pushed. The Costco retailer pulling Xbox, and apparently they are one of many that we'll soon learn about, told me all I needed to know. To sum it up, the future of Xbox is software publishing, with a significantly honed-in focus on profitable IPs, COD, World of Warcraft, Minecraft, Candy Crush, Forza Horizon, cloud gaming being the home of the Xbox platform, transitioning Game Pass into basically becoming the point of entry subscription for xCloud access, which will continue to drive its price tag higher, by the way. They aren't done there just yet either, and releasing their software on any device that has a marketplace and users willing to buy their titles. Maybe some OEM thing will take up the Xbox name. But given what is clearly a collapse in favorable mindshare and faith in said brand, I'm not even sure a third-party OEM is going to want to have an Xbox console by the time Microsoft is done with their reorienting of the division. So that is the post that has kicked off all of these rumors saying that Xbox is getting out of the hardware business. Well, the director of research and insights at Nico Partners, who posts many analysis about this, says every few months there are rumors that Xbox will exit the hardware market, but this announcement was 3 months ago, and my opinion, do expect them to continue releasing dedicated gaming hardware. It just won't be the closed ecosystem boxes like we've seen before. I have said for years that the next generation of Xbox consoles are basically going to be PCs. They're going to be more open. You're going to be able to install Steam, and that means you're going to be able to install PlayStation games or literally whatever you want from any of the PC ecosystems that you have. I think that we will potentially see them move away from hardware. I know Daniel says they're going to do one more console generation, but I do question, what does it look like? I don't know, that would be 10 years from now once that console generation ends. I do wonder if we've seen a drastic change in how Microsoft does business. So continuing on, though, Just Corden had something like 5 minutes ago. It said, no, Xbox's next-gen console hardware plans aren't canceled for now, but it's a problem that it was really easy to believe. It is really easy to believe, honestly. I don't really know what's going on over at Microsoft. It is very strange that we get an announcement of a price hike for Xbox Game Pass. There's rumors now that they're going to do a free tier where you can watch an ad and then get game time so that you can play your games. And the tiers just aren't a good value anymore, in my opinion. Once you go to that $30 mark, and the justification for that $30 mark is the fact that you get a Fortnite thing that I don't want, you get Ubisoft Plus, which I don't want, and then all the regular things. And then on the PC Game Pass side, it's just like, well, nothing's really changing. It's still the same experience you've always had, but you get less now. It just doesn't really make any sense. Anyway, let's go back to Jez Corden's report. So today, rumors began to swirl across the internet that Xbox is planning to exit hardware and move entirely to Xbox Cloud Gaming as the primary way to access content. I can confirm via very trusted sources that this isn't true, at least for now. But that at least for now qualifier is a real problem. How can we know what will be true next quarter? And that's the whole thing. Xbox has this history of saying this is concrete, this is what's happening, until it's not. He confirms that, or he reminds us that it was his sources that confirmed the existence of Xbox Series X and X, their specs, their price, in addition to reports on the canceled Cloud Keystone console. He says, I've asked multiple trusted sources, many of whom spoke to me on the above devices previously, which turned out to be true, about what Xbox's present hardware posture is. For now, it remains unchanged. The question is, what does it mean after some of these shakeups at Xbox? I'm going to talk about it in just a second, but we know Althoff, for example, is taking over Satya Nadella's role. And to me, that is a political an internal politics maneuver so that changes can be made potentially that Satya Nadella wants. Here's what Jez Corden says, though, in the last part that I thought was important. From what I've been told, the hardware plans are not even up in the air and remain firmly Xbox's path forward. Xbox Series X and S hardware production has not ceased, and new stock will go out to retailers at its usual cadence. Well, here's the thing about that regular stock. About 28 days ago, and a lot of people are reporting this like it's new, but 23 days ago, EB Games started removing the Xbox section. They've now removed logos from their website, and EB Games no longer has mention of Xbox. Sam's Club the other night is clearancing all of their consoles. Cheap Ass Gamer posted that Xbox consoles clearance sales at Sam's Club. Prices differ depending on region and location. You're talking about $179 to $239 for a Series S and a Series X for $279.31. That's an absolutely incredible deal because those consoles increased in price, don't forget, recently. So the 2 terabyte Series X is $800. I think the 1 terabyte is, I don't think it's $499. Let's see what the 1 terabyte was. Yeah, it's $649 over at Best Buy. So over at Best Buy, you can get an Xbox Series X 1 terabyte for $649.99. But over at Sam's Club, you can literally get one for $279.31. That is a ridiculous deal. There's no other way to cut it. It's an absolutely incredible deal if you want to play an Xbox. And then Post Up said, at Sam's Club, the letter C on a price tag indicates that the item has been canceled and will not be restocked. While many shoppers assume it means clearance, the letter signifies that the product is being discontinued, though it is often put on clearance to sell the remaining stock. This is exactly what happened at Best Buy. They said there was an initiative to clear out the existing stock. Now, all of this happens at a time, and I know Althoff doesn't really have a lot to do with the Xbox brand, but there was this story that came out a few days ago where Satya Nadella reshuffles Microsoft's executive team so he has more time to focus on AI. One of those reshufflings was Althoff. Here are a few key choice words. Microsoft Corp Chief Executive Satya Nadella is delegating some of his more mundane responsibilities to one of his top lieutenants, so he has more time personally to focus on emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence. He's promoting Justin Althoff, pictured below, a 12-year veteran at the company, to the newly created role of CEO of the company's commercial business. In his new position, Althoff, who has spent the last 9 years leading Microsoft's commercial and sales organization, will take charge of the company's engineering, sales, marketing, operations, and finance teams, which account for more than 75% of its total revenue. The 58-year-old CEO is not planning to retire anytime soon, but simply desires to be more involved with efforts to build out the company's data centers and AI technologies, the person said. As a result, Althoff is stepping up to relieve him of responsibilities such as sitting in on meetings and speaking at some events. He joined the company in 2013 after holding senior sales positions at Oracle Corp, I don't remember ever hearing anything good about Oracle, and was most recently serving as executive vice president and chief commercial officer, responsible for the sales strategy of its commercial businesses. As part of the new reporting structure, Microsoft Chief Marketing Officer Takeshi Nomoto and the leaders of its sales and operations organizations will now report to Althoff rather than Nadella. This will help to tighten feedback loops between what customers need and how we deliver and support them, Nadella explained. So Tom Warren commented to a now deleted MBG thread that said, Justin Althoff is the CEO of commercial at Microsoft, which has nothing to do with the Xbox division, led by Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer. If you're going to make SHIT up, at least make it believable. That's because it's Dave Cutler making all of the hard calls these days. Someone print this headline. I don't get the joke. I'm sure it's a joke, though. But here's the thing. And I don't know about how their business is structured. If Althoff is responsible for sales, let me just read the three things that he's responsible for again. Commercial sales organization. So if he chooses to not sell Xboxes anymore and pull marketing for Xboxes and change their revenue opportunities in terms of sales, if he's able to make those calls, he does not need to oversee what is going on in Xbox. He is just going to take away one of their lifelines, potentially. That's just my theory. I see this personally. I see this as an internal political move at Microsoft so that if they wanted to do something with Xbox, they could make that change. And the big story, the one that we missed, is we do have that conference call date, Wednesday, October 29, 2025. I know it's small, but it's right there. This is on MarketBeat. The Q1 2026 earnings report. Let's imagine what it's going to say, everybody. It's going to say probably that Xbox Game Pass is fine. I wonder if they're going to have the data about the price increase and how it either positively or negatively impacted. But there's one thing that I can guarantee, and they've guaranteed every earnings call. Hardware will be down. How do you make a sustainable business if hardware's down, you can't get consoles off the ground, and now your Game Pass market line is suffering also? It's a question Microsoft is going to have to answer for a lot of people, and I'm left wondering what all of this means at the end of the day. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching. Thank you so much to the members, Chris Freddy, Phil Aroni, Aries, EMS. Some of them are watching live right now. Hi, everybody. Thanks for supporting at the top tier, allowing me to do what I do. Greatly appreciate you. If you want to watch me record these live, you can do so at patreon.com/SaveStatePlus. I'm going to get out of here, but I will see you for the next one. Check out this story about the FTC's comment about the price hikes and my reaction to it. Bye for now.